Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, guys. What is going on? Intellectual Radio. Let's go. Brandy J back in the studio for another heartfelt show. Let's go. Last week, we concluded in regards to the God's power. Yes, and this week, we got a hot topic. But before we conclude, we always have to make sure that you guys know what today's show is brought to you by. It is True Essence. We are a unique spiritual spa and we specialize in spiritual tools, personal development, and all the things you would need to ascend, right? You can follow me on IG if you haven't already. That's Brandy 3Ys J underscore. Again, that's Brandy 3Ys J underscore. Check the link in the bio for the website for all your spiritual tools and everything you need to ascend. Go get us. Let's go. You know, we all about getting to the bag. If you are looking to be affiliated with a group that's about financial development, not just in yourself, but also in a business, definitely want to check us out. If you are interested, again, you can reach me out at IG. That's Brandy 3Ys J underscore. Just hit me in a DM and I'll be happy to send that out to you. Yes, guys, back at it again. Lovely, lovely, lovely week I had. It's been a lot going on in the back scenes, but God's grace is real, right? God's grace is real. So with that being said, last week's show was in regards to our mind, our body, how it works, right? We talked about energy and how it flows. We also got to understand how to reprogram the subconscious mind, right? We understand that the subconscious mind is like a record player. It's constantly picking up information, constantly outputting information, right? So we understood the formatics of that. So now this week we want to get into letting go. Yes. How to let go. Letting go of what no longer serves you, whether it's people, places, or things. 2023 is here and it's bringing about a new energy, a new way of looking at life, a new way of doing things, whether it's personal, financial, or whatever have you. Once you have clarity of who you are and what your divine purpose is, you got to get into the know of letting go of people, places, or things that no longer serve you, right? There's power in that. But in that power, there's awareness in that, right? There's a responsibility that comes along with that awareness, right? Start paying close attention to the details of the places you're around, the people that you're around, right? What's serving you? What's no longer serving you, right? Start to pay attention to how you feel when you leave a certain group. How you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel yuck? Do you feel unworthy? These are things to very much be mindful of because it tells a story, right? A part of letting go is also knowing how to dismount, how to let go fully of what it is that you're looking to hopefully obtain. Because there's a goal with letting go, right? You have a goal in mind. Either you want healing for yourself, either you want financial prosperity, or either you want a better relationship, whatever have you. So there's a goal with letting go. So understanding how to dismount, how to remove yourself, somewhat like coming up with an exit strategy. It's like having life insurance, right? We all don't want to go. We don't want to think about those things, but it's a sense of knowing that we all have to partake in that at some point in our lives and being proactive and ahead of that thing and knowing and having an exit strategy, knowing how to dismount from this reality can only help, right? It's the same with letting go. You have to know or even create, hey, if this relationship was to go X, Y, and Z, or if this business was to do X, Y, and Z, if it got in the red or whatever have you, how do I disconnect? How do I dismount without disrupting everything and everyone around me, right? That's very important. Understanding that you are the spirit, you are God, you are what it is that you want. You are what it is that you want, and it already wants you. You have the power to heal yourself. You have the power to bring about new people in your life, and you have the power to let go. Your sole purpose is to evolve. Spirit does not care how you evolve. If you or someone else is getting in the way to your natural evolution, spirit, God, that prime creator force will remove it, will cast all these things away. So you're holding on to ideas and people and things will only hurt you. It's like that toddler screaming at the store because his favorite toy, and low key mom's really trying to buy a new toy, something better, right? But he can't seem to grasp the idea of that because his identity is wrapped up in this old toy. I've had this toy around for a long time, so I'm gonna kick, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna cause a scene. And when you do that as an adult, man, it's definitely not a good look. And no, we might not all be out here whining and making, doing all of that, but in our own way, we are holding on to ideas when the Most High clearly has more in store for us. I know I too have definitely partaken in that. So it's very important to know when to dismount, to know your soul divine purpose, and to let go with ease, with grace, not to make a scene or to cause more turmoil on yourself. Take a deep look into what no longer serves you. So it is one thing of saying, oh, I don't think this person or this thing serves me. It's a whole nother different game ball when you take a deeper look into the idea of that, right? So asking yourself certain questions like, why am I holding on to this person, place, or things, right? Is it history? Is it guilt? Is it loneliness? Is it laziness? Is it loyalty? Is it stagnancy? Why am I holding on to this? What benefit does this idea, person, place, or thing offer me, right? What benefit does it offer me? Always identifying that tree, right, with the fruit that it bears. List some pros and some cons. Detail them as much as possible. This is for your own personal development and gain. Does this outlook serve more than just me? Meaning that whatever it is that I want from this person, place, or thing, whatever I obviously don't want to let go of and I'm holding on to, does this serve more than just me? Because if it serves more than just you, then hey, you have some leverage there. You have a reason to get in and fight as long as it's not compromising you and your divine gift, right? So ask those questions. If it's yes, write down what those things are. How does it serve? Does it serve your family financially? Does this person help your family? Do they show love? Do they give things? If it's a no, restructure, right? Also, think about your business partners or community. Is it serving my community? The things that I want to hold on to, is it just for my own personal gain or is it helping the collective? 9 times out of 10, if it's helping the collective, God's hand is on it, and that there may need to be some rethinking, some restructuring, or whatever the case may be. But more than likely, if it's serving more than just you, then there's an anointing or there's a purpose behind it. But answering these questions and getting to the details of it would assist you with getting to your overall goal, right? It's your overall goal. You can inspire others just by simply doing this type of work, right? You can inspire your family members by staying consistent and orderly, rethinking your relationships, rethinking your finances, rethinking your business strategies, rethinking things, letting them know that, hey, I appreciate you being in this journey with me, right? For certain family members, like they might have children and they may want a spouse in the future. So you have to take in consideration those children, their feelings, their emotions, and you have to acknowledge that. And likewise, the other. So it's about inspiring and staying collective, right? It's about inspiring and being collective about where it is that you want to go. Feed your faith, starve your fears. Oh, let's say it again. Feed your faith, starve your fears. Letting go of what no longer serves you is all about feeding your faith as well, right? You have to know who you are. And letting go is like grieving, right? It's a process to that. First is denial, right? It's anger. Then you start to barter. You start to barter with God. Well, why me? Or why this? Or why them? Why couldn't just, you start to do this in your mind, right? Then comes along depression. Ooh, careful there. You stay there too long. That'll morph into a whole nother different beast, right? So you can't stay there. There's a time limit with that. Then there's acceptance, right? And then there's this new beginning because you have truly tapped in within. So whether you lost someone, whether you're losing a job or losing income or losing perspectives, letting go is an inevitable part of life. Learning how to do it with grace is such a benefit to you as you evolve, right? You can't allow certain things to paralyze you from fulfilling your divine purpose, right? You have to learn how to transmute that energy and feed your faith with it. Tune in with who you are and develop that. Remember, you are God manifested in the flesh. That pineal gland, right? That is the seat of the soul, waiting for you to give its command. You have to decide the direction this thing is going to go, right? Whether you're heading toward, backwards, left or right, you are inevitably deciding that. So make sure you choose wisely. First, with letting go, one of the things you want to do is learn a new skill set. Yes, learn and develop a new skill set. It helps ease the mind, right? I don't mind is the devil's playground, right? So when you spend too much time idle and not really having a clear intent with your thought or your time, usually that can morph into a whole nother different beast, right? So learn a new skill set, change your perception, change your perception of how you see people, things, and experiences. Cry it out. Yes. Cry it out. If you need to cry, cry. Yes, let it out. You cannot hold things in. Man, woman, however you identify, this is very important. Channel your energy into a positive action. So channel that energy, that frustration, that whatever you feel, loneliness, whatever it is, and transmute that into a positive action, something that you can actually physically do, because we talk about a lot of mind things, but you actually have to actually get the blood flowing as well, right? That's a part of it. We are not just spiritual beings, we are also physical beings as well, right? Also, use certain practices which we spoke about before: meditation, yoga, sun gazing, sound healing. All these things are great. Make a list of your accomplishments. This is great for letting go. Make a list of some of the accomplishments, small or big, whatever have you. You'll be surprised at what you've accomplished in your lifespans. I mean, from birth all the way, I don't care if it was just going to a Girl Scout trip, like write that down. Hey, I was appointed X, Y, and Z. So that's a beautiful thing, because in this world, we tend to downplay, right? I feel like because we're in a society where everybody's doing this and we got to keep up with that, we tend to downplay ourselves. But you have to celebrate yourself, because if you don't, who will, right? Visualize a box in your head. And in that box is labeled expectation, right? So whenever you start to dwell on things, shoulda, coulda, woulda, him, them, and all of that, put those thoughts into that box, right? Expectations. When those things start to come about, give yourself a gentle reminder that all things are working together. All things are working together. And my expectations, even though it didn't pan out the way that I may have thought it to be, I know that it is working out for my greater good. Yes, all things work together. Next is also engage physical activity. Again, working out is great. Exercises decrease stress. It increases hormones. It allows you to live in a nice mental state, right? Because you can be more clear and more focused and more intentional on who you are, right? Express your feelings and create a outlet to express that, whether that's journaling, whether that's going to a therapist, whether that's blogging or having a podcast like I do. I told you guys it's therapeutic for me. Yes, I'm developing my higher self and seeing myself in the future, but it's great to be able to output some of the things that you have in your head out. So don't be afraid to express yourself, whether that's through painting or whatever have you. Get in tune with yourself and express that. The next phase of letting go is fully feeling it. Feel it, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the anger, the rage. Give yourself a window to rent. I mean, full blown. What's that movie with Tyler Perry and Janet Jackson was acting crazy? She was like hitting, and she talked about that scene. She was like, man, it was just therapeutic even doing that scene and just tapping into that energy, right? Sometimes we all need that, right? Everything is not so like cookie cutter. Life isn't cookie cutter, right? So it's like I should and you should have the space in a divine way. You can't go at the crazy. I'm not give you guys permission to go act crazy. You have to do this in a confined space, right? But once you have that space and that opportunity, hopefully it is just you. Rant, feel the pain, feel it, feel all of it, and that's okay. Express yourself, express and get yourself through those phases, right? This is very important. Take responsibility of your part in it. Don't just shift the blame because it's easy to do that. It takes more work to truly tap within and say, well, what was I doing to attract this certain frequency in the first place? How did I allow this or that or whatever have you to happen? Taking responsibility allows you to look at things from a higher perspective, right? Looking at it from a angle of empathy, from that other person's perspective of or other thing or whatever have you, whatever it is that you're letting go, looking at it from a different angle and having empathy, putting yourself in that point of view is very important. Yes, it's very, very important. Also, getting out of the ego. Oh my gosh, guys. I can go on and on about the ego. The ego it's a beautiful thing, if you will, but it also is dangerous. It is very dangerous. Ego can have you stuck and ego can have you on the moon. So it is something that definitely needs to be balanced. So with the ego, you have to let it flow, right? You have to allow this thing to flow. When you start obsessing with thought patterns and all these other things and what people think of you and what they're not going to think of you and how you're perceived and how what you look like and all of that, it is a very limited perspective and it doesn't allow you to really showcase your true divine gift. Also, it leaves you trapped in a sense, right? Because now you're people pleasing or identity, you're wrapped up into this false identity rather than being true to your authentic purpose and self. So, ego is, again, it's not as if you can't use it because it's a coping mechanism as far as being a part of this matrix, this reality, right? But it's also something that must be balanced, it must be maintained, right? Remember that you must remove yourself. You only got three options with letting go, right? You got to remove yourself, you got to change it, and or accept it. And the thing about accepting things is if you're accepting something because you just give up the fight, but you really know this is not really what you want or it's not serving you, but you just accepting it, you just going with the flow. You have to be careful with that because you will never be satisfied. Your thirst will always, it won't never be quenched. It won't. And it'll be that elephant in the room, right? It'll become bigger and bigger over time. So acceptance is a part of it, but make sure in that acceptance that you are in agreement. Your sole purpose is in alignment with whatever that thing is. Because sometimes we'll notice in the evaluation process of what we're doing now, as far as letting go, that we'll establish, hey, I thought I need to let go of this thing, but it may not be that I need to let go. I just need to reconfigure this relationship, this thing, this business, this idea. And then you may say, hey, well, with this thing, I definitely need to let it go. There's no reconfiguration. There's no time. No, let it go. So that's why it's important to do all of these steps, because in doing all of these steps, answering all of these questions, get into the root of things will allow you to be able to make a educated and spiritual decision, right? Right? Identify in relationships as far as letting go, if it's a person, identify what the experience is, what it taught you. Write down some of those things. What has this experience taught you, good, bad, or indifferent? Even write a letter to that person. You don't even necessarily have to give it to that person. Sometimes just writing that letter, that's a part of the rant, right? Sometimes some people ain't got it in them to rant. Okay, so if you're not about to go rant in a room with pads and stuff, no, that's crazy. But if you don't want to do that, you could also write it down, right? That's a part of healing. And you don't necessarily have to give it to that person. Because if you do, which you can, that opens up a whole nother can of worms, right? So and then also is don't undo your idea of love. Okay, right? So be optimistic still as it pertains to love. So if you're letting go of a 2-year relationship, 3-year relationship, 20-year relationship, marriage, whatever have you, still be optimistic, okay? Because I understand letting go of people and relationships is different from letting go of something tangible. Same concepts, right? But it's a different, deeper emotion associated with that. I understand that, right? Visualize an empowered you. Visualize who you are. That's a great part of letting go because your mind will want to stay stuck on what they did and this, that, and the third. But when you start to visualize who you are, that empowered you, and you start to feed that and fuel that, that will actually get you off of whatever trip you're on, right? The person you were, are, or deem yourself to be, whether it's a wife, mother, friend, sister, understand that you were more than that before you gained that title. You came into this world as a sovereign, a God, a source of energy connected with God, not the God. Not you are not the God, but the source is with you. God is with you, right? So that divine purpose, that divine will flows through you. So understanding that power before you became wife, mother, all these things will give you a deeper appreciation of who you are. So when you're visualizing yourself from a higher viewpoint, not a limited viewpoint, because we'll understand, and a lot of this comes from self-limiting beliefs, right? It really does, because we've been trained with propaganda, trained from our parents, trained, our subconscious mind has been downloaded so much bad info. We gotta unroot those things, right? So getting in tune with yourself, create a space also. Create a space that reflects the reality in which you desire, right? Create a space that influences who you are and celebrates that. Reward yourself. Yes. Part of letting go is rewarding yourself for those small steps. Oh, I didn't call them. Oh, I left the number blocked. Oh, I didn't circle back. Oh, I didn't take that contract because I knew this. Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't commit to this. All right. So giving yourself some praises along the way, that's very important, right? Creating a new tribe, finding your new set of people, right? Whether it's in business or personal, whatever, you're gonna have a new tribe, because when you're letting go, you're bringing in. Again, that's that constant flow of life. So as you're bringing in new people, you're bringing forth new energy. So acknowledging that. Lastly is laugh out loud. Yes, y'all, laugh. It is okay to laugh. Yes, you need to. Laughter is such a great thing. It improves your immune system. It removes tension and eases all different type of pains. It releases endorphins, such as when you work out. Yes, all of that is helping you. All of those things are essential. Removing your self-limited beliefs can be difficult, right? It can. It can, but you can do it. That's a part of it, right? Laughing is a part of it. Enjoying is a part of it. Learning, atoning, reconfiguring, having time within, tapping within. All these things are important and essential when it comes to letting go, right? Because in letting go, you're reprogramming. How are you reprogramming? Because you're saying the right words, affirmations, right? You're crystallizing your imagination. You're visualizing who you are and the things that you want for yourself. You've increased your frequency, which is your voltage. You ever had a high voltage something, a high voltage car with the kids, and they got this one's the 9 voltage. And you see the difference from the 6 voltage. Oh, it's like a major difference, right? Right. So that's how it is when you increase your thoughts, increase the people that you're around, increase the things that you do, you're increasing your frequency, which is your voltage. So your destination, it might have taken you, somebody else, a couple years. You can get there in a year. You can get there even in months. Really depends on the output and how much work you're willing to put in it, right? So all of this is important, right? Operating the ego, letting go of the ego, being vulnerable with yourself and the people that's around you. That's very important to letting go. I know me personally, I was operating my ego. Before we conclude, I definitely want to let you guys know why I decided to do this topic today. So I have been in business for now 13 years almost. True Essence began in Oak Park, a boutique owner, and I decided to expand. And back in 2015, I signed for True Essence in Broadview. And it's just a great journey in that. But in that, I realized that I had evolved past that. God started to show me my true divine purpose. And I was so held on to the idea of what I wanted. I wanted the big shop. I wanted the employees. I wanted this. I wanted that. And God was dealing with me with my ego of it, you know? It's a lot of things I have had to let go of in this past year, which I at some point will kind of unravel with you guys, just as my own testament to keep you strong in faith. We all get through this journey together. But in that, I realized that this was one thing God was telling me to let go of. So now, as of today, I decided to actually transition my business into a smaller location that better serves me. I love everyone who has worked with me over the years, even the people that are still currently working for me. I appreciate Braveview and all of the life experiences I gained out of it. Man, being a business owner at the great ripe age of 22 all the way up until now, oh, I learned so much. A lot of hiccups, a lot of learning, a lot of great things, a lot of new things, and a lot of more new things to come. So I'm saying all that to say is sometimes, guys, you have to reevaluate. Sometimes you have to take a deeper look into what you're holding on to and truly tap within and get into the core of what it is that you desire from your whole being. And me getting to the core of that, I realized that my purpose and true essence purpose is so much bigger than 1605 West Roosevelt Road, just like it was for 1109 South Chicago Avenue in Oak Park, right? Although the addresses may change, the concept does not. My brand remains the same. I'm very clear and intentional on who I am and what my brand represents and the personal development I want to not only see for my community, but for the world, and to be able to supply quality tools that people can actually use as they ascend. That's what my brand is about. So being able to explore that and share that with you guys, to encourage you guys to say to yourself, whatever ideas that you're holding on to, don't allow your ego to get in the way. Don't allow these self false identities to get in the way of your true divine purpose. Remember going back to that child holding on to that old toy, right? You're holding on to this old idea when there's so much more greatness in store for you. So I decided to let go. And I am just so excited about what's in store. Of course, I will definitely be taking you guys on a journey with me. So always, like always, stay tuned, right? Stay in tune with me. Stay locked in. Again, follow me on IG. I definitely will be posting. And I just appreciate you guys staying with me. And it is another Friday on Intellectual Radio. I appreciate you guys rocking out with me. Until next time, love and peace.
Get your shine on. Get your glow up. One time for the babies on the south side, the east side, the west side, the north side. Chi-town. Hey, oh. There's a song in your song. It can flow from short to long. In your song, you are the story. Getting past your past, struggling with your past. It'll pass. It'll pass. Hey there, over there, you're torn from where and there. It'll bear. You'll get there. I know what I know. I suffered more than you know. Yet I can grow. In the cold, in the cold. There's always something inside of you. It makes you beautiful, makes you beautiful, it makes you. Be the sun that makes the flowers grow. Makes the flowers grow. Be the spirit child, be the you that's meant to grow. There's always something inside of you. Something inside of you. It makes you beautiful, makes you you. Yeah, yeah. Be the sun that makes the flowers grow. Be the spirit child, be the you that's meant to grow. You find it in the afterglow. It glows from the bellows of your soul. And you know, it's what you put here for. And it's clear, so clear, the reasons why you're here. It appears you can change the atmosphere. There's something incredible within the meeting of the minds. Like, if you were but in kind, spare our brother a dime, he can take a red line to 100 lifetimes. And you wouldn't mind it because God had already prepared for you a place to be ageless, where you can brush your face with lilies and sing songs of Makiba. There's always something inside. There's always something.